Good morning, this is Yazid. I'm coming from born again Africa. And this morning I'm coming to talk to everybody about my first experiences as I moved to Ghana. That is in 2009. I moved here with my mother, Brenda Muhammad. May her soul rest in eternal peace. Uh, we together uh, came in 2009, but she came earlier in 2000. She had started coming in 2006, and then in 2009, by that time, she had established a chalet for herself. And she moved into the chalet, and she built the chalet she built that in 2009, around about May or April. So after she completed that, then she retired and planned to come. At that time, I was working and then moved, eventually deciding to move with her. And we came in October, and I think we got to Fihankra around uh, the second week of October or like that way. So when we got to Fihankra, we came in on some bumpity road. It's a very bumpity road. We came in and got to where her place is, and um, I had rented a room from the house that's adjacent to my mother's house, my mother's properties, and also my sister-in-law own property, which is there also there. We stayed there. She stayed in her place. I stayed at the house adjacent to her place, and also close to where Mama Lane was staying. It's a little like something like a cul-de-sac, about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, maybe about 7 houses, something like that, right in that little area. 1, 2, 5. Wherever you include my mother's 3 places, is 7 instead of counting as 1. But it's like that. So now it's like that. Now Lois that has built her house and is living in her place. But before that, it was just my place and my mother's place, my mother's place, my place, and then her, my sister's place. And that's my. Uh, uh, yes. So after that, then there's Gloria's house, uh, Queen Mother Lucille's house, uh, the house that Mama Lena was living in, house that Nzinga built, and the house that Mr. Shabazz built. If you go a little further up the road, then there's another house on the corner there that was built by Majwa. We understand it's Majwa's son. There's a structure there. Then you go up a little further, and then there's a block factory. Was up my block factory. Then you make a left. You go up. You will climb the mountain. Then go around the corner. You climb the mountain before you meet not Mensa, Brandon's place. And then you go up a little around the corner. You meet Mensa's dome house. It's a road there. And some other people have also acquired plots there that I met since I've been living there, but they never really developed them. And I think they have every right to develop them. And they came around and, and started projects, but were pestered and had issues. So when I came in, I met Ra, and there was another young lady there. Now they told me Brandon was also living in the house there, and somebody was living in Queen Mother Lucille's house. I don't remember the young man's name or the man's name. Or he was living in that house with his wife, and they had also come to do a training school. But I really didn't meet him, and I heard some things about him, but I don't know him. I don't know the person, so when we came in, that's the people that I met, and as well, Marjorie Sonozakwe, who was in high school at that time. Who was in high school at that time, I think, and so and also Mike Martin. Mike Martin was also there. He was a contractor that was building the dome houses and houses for people. So he was in that area, also operating. He was living on the land. He was renting a home and a guest room from Marjorie, and it was so that's what. And Shamsuddin was also here when I arrived. So I didn't meet him early. He was also living on the land, renting at that place. So when we got here, that was in 2009. I didn't. The only person I really didn't meet was Brandon at that time. But everybody I met at that day, they had a little dinner for my mother. I don't think they really knew that I was coming along. That wasn't, let's say, her plan. So when I showed up, it was like, oh snap, this giant, this giant guy is here. Is he forward friendly? So then I came in and started to be a part of what they had was establishing. I pretty much kept to myself. I didn't say anything to anybody. I really just wanted to try to listen and observe because my mother had been coming and she established some relationships here, and I came here to be in support of her. Not to be taking over her or anything. So when she came in, I just carried her bags and drove her around and took care of my mother, in that kind of way. So I became the driver. I became known as the driver and my actual title. So we would be going into Accra and into Tema to buy building supplies because we really, we found that we were looking for, let's say, the main distributor. So my mother owns she bought a truck, a Kia truck, smaller, tight Kia Bongo, but it can carry a lot. I've driven that truck with stones and blocks and iron rod. It can carry a lot. It can do a lot. It has done a lot. So and it's still strong. So the truck was ever present, and we were using that as also the car. So we were going into Accra and spending the whole day there, and coming to Tema, and my mother was buying supplies to finish off the kitchen, to finish off her place actually. There was a contractor named Yaw who had built the foundation and pretty much made the place, and then Yaw was affiliated with the Fihankra International, that is Nana Akpan and Maj. Yeah, he was affiliated. He was at that time affiliated with him, but he was really said I would say, is an independent contractor that was working with the Akpans. So he built my mother's foundation and established the walls up in I think lintel level. I believe in roof because she used thatch initially to roof it. So she roofed it, and then at the back she had given some of the contract to Brandon Rogers to build outdoor kitchen. So when I arrived, it was just a stone knee wall that was there, and it was trying to be established into a kitchen. So when my mother got there, she eventually used the local mason, Moses, to establish the place and to finish off a lot of the work there to do it because I think Brandon wasn't around at that time, and we was trying to get the place together immediately for her, and that was her main focus. And at that time, I was, like I said, very quiet and kind of observing what was going on at Fihankra. Was very, they had a couple workers there that were had 3 guys there that were weeding the yard, and it's a couple security guards where they use those people to monitor the 2 gates. So I remember quite frankly, the first day that they asked for an emergency meeting about raising money to pay for security and those things, and such a big deal, and then it wasn't even a whole lot of money, but it just came out the wrong way, I would say, and then that was my first indicator that there were some issues here, because I thought that they had been maintaining a lot of these things, and then all of a sudden there's an emergency, and as a matter of fact, they haven't been maintaining the things. So that's how it kind of came out that there were some first issues there, and where the money that is being sent, where is it going if the maintenance money is not considered.